Okay, so this is quite a juicy one. Are you a paid member of Ali Abdaal's team? So in this video, I want to answer some of your questions. So recently on this channel, we hit 1,000 subscribers. So thank you so much for letting me achieve that number, and we're just getting started. There were so many questions, so I left timestamps in the description down below so that you can skip around. And if you haven't already subscribed, then please make sure you hit that subscribe button so we can become better friends with the YouTube algorithm. So question number one, what is one of your goals for 2021? I think this is really easy. So this is my final year of 6 years in medical school. So my only goal and my biggest goal for this year is hopefully to graduate as a doctor. So the next question, what was your life like this time last year? What was all of our lives like this time last year? I think a lot of us were naive to the idea of this pandemic sort of approaching and happening before us. So I think the interesting thing for you guys would be that I didn't have a YouTube channel this time last year. I wasn't creating any content this time last year. So I didn't have my weekly newsletter. I didn't have my YouTube channel. I didn't have a website. I wasn't writing any blogs. So none of that was happening. I was just going about my medical school life. So in that sense, my life was different for sure. I was doing a lot more freelance design projects. I was working for a startup at that time, which I'll make a video about in the future. And yeah, life was definitely different. So Dev asked, what sparked your interest in design? Okay, so good question. When it comes to design, I think the first time that I really got into design was in high school when I was about in year 9. And the thing that sparked my interest in design at that time was the Apple website and just how aesthetic the Apple website was, and even all of their product launches, even all of their marketing, all of their ads. I just looked to them and I was just really drawn towards the design. So what sparked your interest in design? You know, you could just say it was Apple, it was Steve Jobs, it was the way they did things, it was how much attention they paid to details and how simple they made, you know, very complex things look. So Rohan has asked, as a med student, how do you take time to make money on the side to invest in? So this is interesting because I recently made a video, you know, how to invest in your 20s and how I do it. In that, I explained that I put money into index funds, so the S&P 500 using Vanguard, and that's probably where this question is coming from. I would say how I'm able to invest money is because I tutor on the side and I also do some design projects on the side. This both generates a decent amount of money. I would say I'm doing less of it now, but I have a lot of residual income from the time that I did do it. And design for sure is a lot of very easy money. So Alejandro asks, what's your first destination once we're allowed to travel again? I think one thing that I definitely want to do after lockdown finishes is go to one of two places. I want to either visit Japan or I want to visit New York. What are you currently reading right now? So I'm reading 2 books. The first book I'm reading is A Promised Land by Barack Obama. The second book I'm reading is Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. Someone asked, what are your favorite books? So I have many favorite books. I'll leave a link in the description down below to a page on my website where I've kind of listed all of my favorite books. But my most recent sort of favorite book over the last 2 or 3 years is The Third Door by Alex Banyan. It's a fantastic book and I think you should definitely check it out. What's your favorite clothing brand? So good question. I think with clothing brands, my favorite brand is Uniqlo. This is from Uniqlo. I have a lot of other clothes from Uniqlo. I think they have a really nice fit, really good quality, and also the price is pretty reasonable. So favorite brand, Uniqlo. So Aku asked, when are you making your first Skillshare course? So I think when exams are done, so for me that's April. When those are done, I'll definitely get onto Skillshare and make a few courses. I'm thinking about making a course on design for, you know, personal brands and creators. Another course I'm thinking about is writing a weekly newsletter and how to do that and how to go about that. And yeah, I've got a few other sort of secret courses planned. So yeah, watch out for those. I think they'll be coming out around May time of this year. So Nanthish asked, what's your bucket list mate? So I do have a bucket list. I have it in my favorite to-do app, which is Todoist. And let's have a look. So I want to buy a Tesla by 30 apparently. Start a side hustle that generates more money than my main income. Yeah, I think this is something I definitely want to try achieve. Give a keynote speech in front of 1,000+ people. Remote work in Japan for 2 months and complete a tour of the main cities. Run a 10k in 55 minutes. Or run a half marathon in 30 minutes by the age of 30. Write and publish a book. That's more of a really long-term goal. Optimize for a nomadic life by 30. I think that's something I definitely want to do. I think digital health is going to get bigger and bigger. I think work from home for clinicians is going to get bigger and bigger. And the kind of specialties I want to pursue do allow you to work from home, so like general practice. Learn French to a basic proficiency. I think French is a beautiful language. After all, it's a language of love, and I think it would be pretty cool to learn French. Learn to play the guitar or the piano. This is probably not going to happen because I just don't make time for it, but I probably should. And I just think it would be quite cool to be able to just, pick up a guitar and play something. So Kuman has asked, given the choice of anyone in the world, whom would you want as a dinner guest? So if you'd asked me this several years ago, I would have said Steve Jobs. I think I've been really inspired by him, and I think the only reason why I'm so into design is because of how much attention to detail Steve Jobs paid when it came to Apple. But if you ask me now, it would probably be Bill Gates or Elon Musk. So Stephen asked, your thoughts/opinion on the Ember mug you've been using. So that's this mug. I've been using it for some time now, and it's such a solid mug. It's a smart mug, so it gives you the ability to control your temperature and sort of keep a beverage warm for a prolonged period of time. And it's open, so you don't have to like close it and seal it whilst it's keeping your beverage hot. I got it for Christmas. It was a Christmas gift to me, so yeah, definitely check it out. It's a really good mug. So someone who I don't think wants to be named has asked, what happened to Medic Room? So for anyone that doesn't know, Medic Room is a startup that I started at January of 2020, so last year this time, similar time, and it was a startup with 2 high school friends. It didn't go as planned. We closed it. It no longer exists, and yeah, I'll make a video on it sometime in the future, so make sure you're subscribed. So before we answer the next question, I was looking through my YouTube analytics and I noticed that only 9.2% of you have turned on notifications. So that's just 125 of you guys. So please make sure you turn on those notifications so you can be the first to see my videos. Now let's get right back to it. So 2 questions about quitting medicine. The Worldwide Medic and Changavi both have asked similar questions. Do you see yourself quitting medicine or pursuing YouTube full time? I would say no, I don't see myself quitting medicine. I like the profession. I want to qualify as a GP and I want to practice medicine lifelong. Do I want to do it full time? I don't think so, because I consider myself as generalist and I think I have a lot of different interests. So I really enjoy design, I really enjoy creative work, I really enjoy entrepreneurship, startups and medtech. So I want a career where I can combine everything, and I think it's possible to definitely do everything and be sort of like a specialized generalist. So Tharsh asked, what made you want to become a doctor? So this is a good question. I think it's just 2 things. Firstly, caring for people is such a huge privilege. When you're in hospitals, when you're in placement, if you're a medical student, you'll see that we can do such small things that for us feel like really insignificant things, but they can have huge impacts on patients. Secondly, I think for me, I like science, but I also like the community that doctors kind of foster. When I was on work experience, I kind of realized like doctors are just nice people. Being in a hospital is just a nice environment. People are kind to you, people respect you, people will help you wherever it's needed, and I kind of felt really supported, or I felt that I would be supported in that kind of environment. So that's why I applied to medicine. Another person asked how to have a stable mental health during med school. Balance, so having a good balance between your studies and everything else is important. Making friends, making sure you have friends also outside of medicine. Another thing is like, don't work yourself too hard. Like the difference between maybe getting 80% in your exams and 90% is going to be so great, because you have to put in so much greater effort compared to just focusing on getting a semi-decent grade and being happy with that. So go for what you really want out of the degree. If you want high grades, then yeah, you're gonna have to put in a lot of hours. Okay, so this is quite a juicy one. Are you a paid member of Ali Abdaal's team? So for anyone that doesn't know, I think this is referring to my role as a peer supporter on Ali Abdaal's part-time YouTuber Academy. This is a role that I have because he reached out to me and said, I'm starting a course on YouTube. You're a semi/small YouTuber. Would you like to help people that are, one step behind you, therefore people that haven't started YouTube? And I said, yeah, let's do it. Like, let's go for it. Like, why would you turn down an opportunity from Ali Abdaal? That doesn't mean I get paid for it. This is just a thing that I do because I enjoy this. I like helping other people, and to also have Ali Abdaal as your mentor, someone that you can kind of communicate with on a day-to-day basis, is just super cool. Sad asks, who's influenced you to start a YouTube channel? Matt Diavello, for all of the sort of minimalism, production value. I just watch his videos and I think, wow, these are super high quality videos. So Matt Diavello for sure. Nathaniel Drew, because I just think the way he speaks, the way he articulates points is just fantastic. He speaks slowly, he speaks very clearly. And finally, Ali Abdaal, you know, this guy is sick. His videos about productivity, his videos about, you know, time management, his videos about his day in the lives, all of that kind of stuff I've been consuming for about 2 years now. And I think he's a really, really great guy. He's helped me in so many ways as well. So yeah, he's definitely influenced my start on YouTube as well. Muhil asks, what aspects of your video are you looking forward to improving, and what do you have in store for 2021? I have a lot of different things, a lot of different ideas that I want to kind of experiment with and try. I want to make more vlogs, more med school vlogs, more vlogs about how I design stuff, more vlogs about how I, you know, make these YouTube videos as well. And I also want to do a lot of interviews on this channel, so there's a lot of people that I look up to and I'd love to ask them some questions. So I'm currently figuring out how to do that and the logistics around that. So once I have, you will see those on this channel. And yeah, generally speaking, a lot of things. So Taha, who's another up and coming YouTuber, has asked, what microphone do you use? I use the Rode Video Mic NTG. I'll leave a link to it in the description down below. And yeah, it's a fantastic mic. So if you're looking for a good all-round mic, I would definitely recommend it. Max has asked, what filming gear do you use? So to keep this short, I use the Sony a6600 with a Sigma 16mm lens. I use the Rode Video Mic NTG, and I have two like really crappy lights that I bought from Amazon that are like super cheap. And yeah, that's how I make these YouTube videos. I'll leave a link to all of that in the description down below, and you can check out my kit.co page where, you know, the entire list is there. So Edward asks, what were the first things you tried to get right when you started YouTube? Okay, so good question. So I've been a consumer of YouTube for a very, very long time. You know, I got started watching YouTube when Casey Neistat was doing daily vlogs, when Jon Olsen was, you know, just popping up, and I was watching people like Matti Haapoja and Peter McKinnon when they were, you know, much smaller YouTubers. So I've been watching YouTube for ages. You could say 10 plus years of consistently watching YouTubers and consuming and wasting away, or you know, not wasting away, but entertaining myself for far too many hours every year. So when I got started with YouTube, I already had a lot of experience as a consumer. I kind of knew what YouTubers did. I kind of knew what kind of intro spiels or how they got their subscribers, what kind of things they said, like, you know, smash that subscribe button, which I think you guys should definitely do right now. And you know, things like hooks and camera gear and audio quality and all of those kind of things. So I had all of those things in mind. So 3 things I tried to master when I started YouTube. The first thing was lighting. I wanted to make sure my lighting was good. The second thing, production value. I wanted to make sure I had some B-roll, I had some sort of good editing skills and that kind of stuff. And finally, the content. So the content I still haven't quite mastered. I still don't really know my niche. I still don't know what exactly I want to do with this YouTube channel. But one thing that I do know for sure is I want to share my journey, and I want to lead people towards a more considered life. So being healthier, wealthier, and happier. So the IV line has asked, what would you have done differently with your YouTube channel in the beginning, if any? What would I have done differently? I think I would have paid more attention to scripting and making content as engaging as possible, because one of the things that definitely helps you grow as a small YouTuber is click-through rate and watch time. So the more people like your content, the longer they're going to watch it for. And one thing that's actually pretty low on like my first few videos is my watch time, because I didn't think I hooked people in enough for them to stay and watch my videos. So yeah, I'll definitely focus on the content itself and how engaging it can be. How hard would you say it is to reach 1K subscribers? So this is going to vary. Like, a lot of this is also down to luck as well, like, you know, whether the algorithm finds your videos, whether it promotes it to other people, depending on like who shares your videos. For example, I had Ali Abdaal share one of my videos, I've had Carmen Medic share one of my videos, I've had Matt Diavella comment on my video. So, you know, there's all of these like little things. I don't know what kind of bearings those things have, but would you say it's easy to reach 1K? I wouldn't say it's easy, I would say it's doable. With a strategy, clearly it's very, very doable. I got to 1K in about 4 months, which according to statistics is very, very quickly. And how I did it was, you know, post consistently, make 1% improvements, make sure I had like the main important things, so like production quality, audio quality, lighting to a good standard from the get-go, and then improve upon that over time. And yeah, network with other YouTubers, other smaller creators, bounce ideas off and sort of grow that way, because I think when it comes to content creation, you can feel quite lonely if, you know, you're the only YouTuber that you know within your friendship or friend circle. So definitely network with other creators and try to form that sort of bubble. And Abdaal, who's an absolute legend and runs a really good YouTube channel, has asked, what are your YouTube goals for 2021? I would say I don't really have a YouTube goal. Like, I don't want to reach a certain metric, or I don't want to reach a certain number of people. I think my only goal is to remain consistent, 1 video a week for 2 years. You know what Ali Abdaal says with the sort of YouTube mantra, if you can do it consistently for a very long time, it will change your life. That's what he says. So I'm going to experiment. I'm going to see if it does actually change my life. And Anudeep asked, tips for growing a newsletter apart from posting consistently. First thing is definitely post consistently. So, you know, that is my top advice. Secondly, sort of know your why and know your how. So how are you going to post consistently? It's through getting feedback, through making 1% improvements, and just making sure, like, if you're going to do something consistently, you're going to want to like doing that thing. So what can help you like doing that thing is seeing yourself improve and seeing yourself write better. And the thing that's going to help you do that is asking your audience, you know, do you resonate with my newsletters? What do you like? What do you hate? How can I change it? And once you know that, then you can make those improvements, then you can write better, and your audience is going to resonate better with your articles. And when you see more and more people resonating, and when you see your audience growing, that's naturally going to encourage you to post consistently. So the tip to grow consistently is ask for feedback, make changes, and, you know, keep going. So Devarshan asks, how do you beat procrastination? So interesting. How do we all beat procrastination is going to differ from person to person. The way I kind of do it, or the way I don't do it perhaps, is you know, I still procrastinate a fair amount, but when I do sort of manage my time, when I do, you know, want to get things done, I deploy a lot of time management sort of skills and tips and principles. I'll leave a link here or there to a video that I recently made about how I manage my time, and it's things like, you know, time blocking, batch processing, applying the Parkinson's law, which is, you know, your work expands to fill the time you give it. So if there's a task and you think it's like a really quick thing, but then you give yourself the sort of entire morning to do it, then of course you're going to like procrastinate and you're going to waste a lot of time. But if you kind of just give yourself 10 minutes to a task that will only take you 10 minutes, then you're going to be able to finish it in that time. So it's definitely, you know, applying whatever works for you. And, you know, you don't need to beat procrastination. It's fine to like just laze around, do other things from time to time. You know, we don't have to be 100% efficient. Compelling reasons to buy an iPad. None really. You buy it if you need it. I have it because I do a lot of work on Procreate. If I didn't, I would say I probably don't need it. I'm not someone that writes their notes handwritten on an iPad, and my laptop at the moment is like a 13-inch MacBook Pro, so that's pretty sort of portable. I can take it anywhere I want, and I don't really need an iPad otherwise. Should I use Affinity Design or Adobe Illustrator? I think neither. I think you should get Procreate if you're going for sort of hand-drawn illustrations. If you're going for more sort of like vector arts, then I would say Figma is probably better than either. I think my combination of apps is Figma and Procreate, and between those two I get everything done. So yeah, definitely I would say neither in that case. So Mayank asks, could you show your note-taking process from a book or an article? I would love to see that. If you're asking for my sort of very basic sort of how I take notes, then I definitely have a video, so I'll link it somewhere. But in terms of like book notes, I think that's something that I definitely want to tackle, and I want to make a good sort of solid video on it. So definitely watch out. I think I'll make a video on that sometime soon. So yeah, that's all the questions. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like down below. And if you have any more questions, feel free to DM me on social media. I will definitely answer all of your questions whenever I can.